Hey, it's Ardea. Welcome back to my channel. I loved summer. It was the right amount of cool, it was the right amount of hot, and even though I did not travel this summer, I will say this is a good way to just pull all the nostalgia of everything I went through this summer into a makeup look. Summer was so beautiful. I feel like I spent a good amount of time outside. I was doing a lot more activities than I typically do in the summer, so I'm very grateful for that. And I'm just using this makeup look as a way to kiss summer goodbye before I get into my fall content. So if you guys would like to see some of the things that I tried in order to achieve this makeup look, keep watching. So to get started in my routine, the first thing that I'm going to do is apply the Clinique Lash Building Primer to my eyebrows, actually, because I want to make sure that they stay in place throughout this entire process. Because as you can see, they are a little messy. I'm already glowing because I was trying out some new skincare prior to starting this video. But don't worry, that is coming soon because this deserves to be talked about. So I'm going to basically skip out on primer because I really want to give the product that I'm going to use a fair chance. This is a sample of the Goldlite Strobe cream from MAC, as well as the new highlighters, and I decided to mix the shades Extraordinary and Bronze Glaze. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Even though the weather is still really nice outside, my goal at the moment is honestly to just lock in and make sure that I preserve some in my skin for as long as possible. So let me see if these about to become some new favorites of mine or not. This is what the mixture of Extraordinary and Bronze Glaze looks like. This highlighter is supposed to be like a glow from within. Mix it into my foundation, which is the Fenty Beauty Soft Lit Foundation, and this is in the shade 420. This is my normal shade. I've never tried this foundation, so for all I know, this is not the color that's gonna work for me, but from what I could tell, it's the general shade of foundation that I use. Yeah, so we're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. So I'm gonna use a fluffy brush to get started and just in circular motions work this into the skin. So I wanted to give this foundation a fair shot, and that's why I did not apply any concealer first, but in terms of tone, I'm very satisfied with it. I just feel like I need a little bit more in order to really see what it's giving. I can't tell where the glow is coming from, and I think I like that. One of the things I always struggled with was the idea that because I had oily skin, I did not need a glowy makeup routine. I just don't want to look greasy at the end of the day. So now that it's on, I feel like the glow has been intensified, and I honestly could not be happier. What I love about the product so far is, of course, that my skin is glowy, but also I really like the color match. I feel like it's working for me, and usually whenever I try glowy makeup, one of my faults is applying way too much powder. So I decided not to include my skin tone shade. I instead decided to just use my highlight shades. That way I'm only setting where my skin is naturally oilier. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some blush. This is the shade Barbie Rose from Juvia's Place, as well as the shade Marigold Glow. So I love this as a blush combo. Honestly, ever since I would have gotten on the bandwagon of glowy blush, it's been kind of hard to not only shop in that category. So that's about as much as I want to apply. But basically what I was trying to say was that so much of my routine was previously centered around glowy blush, but I've never really had glowy skin. So I'm just using my Clinique foundation brush to tap in that blush around my temple area and my upper cheek. To highlight my face, I'm going to go ahead and use the Turn Up the Base concealer. It's been the one in my rotation as of lately. Honestly, my nose being this wet on purpose is actually kind of scary, because then what is it gonna look like towards the end of the routine? This is truly one of those trust the process kind of things, because I don't know that that's something I enjoy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just continue to use this sponge from AOA Studio. It's one of the Paul collection sponges, And I'm just gonna use this to blend out my concealer, make sure that everything looks as seamless as possible. Together a look where I can wear blush and bronzer and the whole nine, especially a highlighter that looks like this. Sign me up ASAP. Where did the saying come from, ASAP no Rocky? I get it, but he's not the only ASAP out there, right? But also, why do we say ASAP no Rocky? Because I was literally gonna say that. I'm like, wait a minute, why do we even say that? Look at this. So you see how, because that is a mattifying concealer, my T-zone is now, yeah, like you see where I'm going with this. So we're just gonna keep it cute. I'm gonna use the bottom of the sponge with foundation just to build up the coverage. I don't always use a dry beauty blender. I just really did not have the desire to get up and go fix it. Because that's such a brightening color, I'm not gonna apply that all over my face, so I decided to just go in with an extra layer of this foundation. I don't know why I'm smiling so much, but this is honestly turning out to be so freaking gorgeous. And now I'm going to just go back under my eye just to build up that coverage. To start off with my setting, I'm gonna use a brush and then my trusted triangle. And if you know which one I'm about to use, let me know. Say it. Did you say the crayon case? Because if you didn't, you're wrong. So I'm gonna use the crayon case powder, and I'm first gonna press it into the skin because I want it to be a light layer. I'm going to also apply it to the nose area, my forehead, around my mouth, anywhere that has hyperpigmentation. So as you can see, naturally, I'm the type of person who applies a lot of powder. Now I'm gonna switch to my puff and just reinforce that set. We kind of lost the blush a little bit, so I'm gonna try to pick it back up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, back on track. And then, as I said, I'm just going to lightly apply powder around the rest of my face using the puff. And then, tell me what the next one is. Did you guess ABH? No? Okay. I didn't really give you time to guess, you know, so maybe that's why you didn't get it correct. You did. You get a cookie. I just love how well this set. Now I'm going to bronze the face using this angled brush and the Dew Butter bronzer from NYX. It's called the Buttermilk bronzer. And since people have this thing for smelling stuff, it doesn't smell like chocolate per se, but it does smell pretty edible, and I like that. So I'm just really pressing this over certain areas of the face just to add a little bit more color, you know, like add some definition, not look one-dimensional, not look like we're just flat, you know. And I'm gonna squeeze the bristle because it's a nice angled brush, and I'm going to go ahead and just dust this. So as you can see, guys, I still maintain the glow, and I really love that for me. Can't beat that. Now I'm gonna use a blush. This one is Juicy Peach from Fenty, and she's a bit lighter than Baked Peach, but she's just gonna be perfect to just solidify this nice peachy moment we had going on. Okay, this is the base. She's really cute. This is super off topic, but it was just something I was thinking about. If you never remember, another thing that I say, remember this: charge your worth. Okay? And another thing, up your prices. Now we're gonna find a lip combo. So for something like this, I love doing nude, but I don't know what I want to do today. Let me go find some lip products and I'll be right back. So for my lip combo, I want to do something super basic. So I'm gonna use the new version of Root for Me. This is the MAC Glossy Liner. So I'm applying that to the lips, and then I'm going to go over that for some additional depth with the shade Chestnut. So pretty and deep. And then I'm going to use this Absolute New York Liquid Matte Mattifying Liquid Lip Color in the shade, I think the shade was on the sticker, but if I find it, I'll be sure to put you on. But this is the color right here. A beautiful orange shade. So this is kind of give like muted orange. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the Fenty Copper Cookie, right? She's a liquid bronzy shade. Because this is supposed to be a glossy look, a glowy makeup look. Then of course the lips gotta be glowy too. And then I have another one. This is in the shade Frosted Suns, or is it Frosted Buns? Frosted Buns. And I'm going to basically ombre it just like I did my eyeshadow. So I'm going to apply this just to the center. Anyways, if you love lip combo, see about me. Anyways, so this is going to be the star of the show. I'm so excited to try it because I really love one size products. So let's see how I feel about this. I love the mister. It doesn't really have a fragrance. Doesn't have a fragrance, which I like. Now we're going to go ahead and close our eyes and trust the process. So you guys are going to see before I do, so please let me know if it actually looks good or if I just wasted my time. Well, we wouldn't know till it dries, but in my opinion, it's a bit of a textured spray. So we really have to see what the dry down is like. So now that I'm letting my face dry, I'm just going to recap some of the favorites that I used from this entire routine. Because honestly, even though it's supposed to be my end of summer glow, it might have to make its way into the fall season. But we will see. Now for the Fenty foundation, I think that this is an incredible foundation. I'm just thinking it's a bit more of a medium coverage foundation, which I really do love as a day-to-day product. Then let's talk about this blush combo right here. So if I'm not mistaken, I should be able to get the powder version of one of these shades, so I'm gonna have to look into that. But I really loved how the color Barbie Rose complemented this. Now, like I said, this is something that I've used before, so I'm really just sharing my thoughts because it's something I haven't used in a while. And I love how glowy it made the cheek, but of course once I set my face, it kind of took away the glow. But then this is why we have products like this, a blush lighter. You know, it is super, blush lighters are fun, they're glowy, they're beautiful. However, this specific shade, I would not call it my favorite, to be honest with you. I loved Baked Peach, so I definitely will have to use that again and again. So even though this name is escaping me because I don't have it in anything but a sample, I really loved how this added to my skincare glow. Like, I definitely feel like it really gave lit from within. And I don't get this in gratis because I'm assuming that these are some of the shades that they're going to give us. If they don't give it to us in gratis, then I'm going to make sure that I at least buy the one that is called Extraordinary, because it's the one that I've been playing with the most and putting clients onto. So I'm looking forward to that. So now that the one size spray is about, honestly, it seems to be about 65% dry in my opinion, but this just to me is glowier than I personally like. But you know what, that's an easy fix because we have powder puffs. So even though I want it for the effect of the video, I am going to go ahead and just set certain areas of my face again, because when it comes to my nose, I'm not the biggest fan of it having this glow situation. Not a fan of that. But anyway, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and of course come back because Vlogtober is starting soon. I'm already in the space of recording them, so I hope you guys enjoy them once they come out, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.